Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live with Lee, Immigration Live with Lee. I am your host, Lee Marvin, Attorney Lee Marvin, and welcome to everyone here. I always want to remind people comments and questions, please type as soon as you have them so that I can provide quality content for you. Okay, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of questions, a lot of things that are very relevant, but it's only relevant if it matters to you and your family. So please don't hesitate to um, to ask your questions. So again, every Monday we meet 8 o'clock to answer your questions, live immigration questions. Okay, there's a lot going on right now. I've got a lot of content that I want to talk about tonight. In addition to the questions, there's a lot going on. Some of you, no doubt, have heard about the Texas immigration policy that is just today, just an hour or so ago. The appeals court reversed the decision to disallow the Texas law that's being proposed, and now the Biden administration is going to petition to get this to the Supreme Court. So a lot of very important and interesting things going on. No doubt people know that the law that Texas has proposed is the law that allows Texas to prevent people from crossing the border illegally and arresting them, deporting them, and all sorts of interesting things. So it's a very, very, very big deal. I think the chances of it going to the Supreme Court are huge because it is such a big deal. Okay, never has there been a situation like this. So stand by for that. It's going to be a very big deal. But who wants to talk about politics? Okay, we'll let the politicians deal with that. You guys want to hear about the upcoming and recent developments or things going on in immigration. Okay, um, things that are relevant to families and petitioners. For example, backed by popular demand, we're providing a second webinar because we did a webinar a couple weeks ago for fiancé visas and spouse visas. Okay, so those are people overseas looking to get visas to enter the United States. We've had a lot of people asking us to do one of these webinars for those inside the United States. So for petitioners, either legal permanent residents or citizens petitioning one of their loved ones that are in the United States, and either that's a spouse or could be a parent, a brother or sister, or children. Okay, so we've got a webinar coming up, and it's going to come up the third Wednesday of March. So that's March 20th. We're going to do it again at 12:30. Okay, so the lunchtime hour, so people hopefully can participate in that. We're gonna on Wednesday, this Wednesday, in 2 days, we're gonna have on our website, marvinlawoffice.com. We're gonna have the invitation, so you can click on it and you can get the invitation to that webinar through Zoom. Okay, or you can contact us directly and give us your information so that we can send you the invitation so you can participate. And that's at info at marvinlawoffice.com. So that's the address if you wanted to request the invitation for the webinar when it comes time, or like I said, just go on the website and check it out. Let's see, I'm copying something here. Check it out when it comes time after Wednesday. You can see it, you can click on it, you can enter your information, and we will make sure that you get that invitation to be a part of that webinar. Okay, highly, highly useful information. I'm going to have a lot of descriptions of things, but like this, people who have questions can ask me questions. Okay, so please post your questions. Post your questions. Let me see. Let me go to the comments. Post your questions in the comment section so that I can make sure that you guys are getting information to your questions. Okay. So let me look here to see if we have anyone. We have 1 second here. So my U.S. citizen turns 21 in 2 weeks. I assume child. I overstayed my visa? What's the first process for her to petition me? So every process for a green card, either inside the United States or outside the United States, starts with the I-130 petition. I-130 is the application that gets submitted to the government to get the process started. So that is applicable for anyone filing for a family member. So that is what's needed. All the additional information that goes with it, okay, that is a separate issue. But how you start the process is through that application, okay? Um, let's see. There was something I was going to point out to you guys. Okay, that I'm going to get to in a second here. Um, okay, so anyway, I am going to post this right now. This is our link to schedule a consultation. If you wanted to have a consultation to answer questions directly with me, that's not on this live that we do every week, or it's not part of the webinar, you can always schedule an appointment to talk to me directly with any question at all as it relates to immigration. So that's there on the post. Again, questions. Let me go back to the questions. Post your questions. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us every week. I see a lot of the same people, so I appreciate your faith in me and the information that you're seeking. I'm happy to provide, okay? What are the pros and cons of marrying a citizen and to put two dependents, one over 18 and unmarried, and the other under 18? What are the pros and cons of marrying a citizen? Um, so Brooklyn, that's a bit confusing. What you're really asking there. Um, Pros and cons of marrying a U.S. citizen. I can't think of any cons of marrying a U.S. citizen. I'm biased, of course, because I'm a U.S. citizen. But if you're looking to get a green card, that is the best way to do it. Okay. If you're married to a U.S. citizen who can sponsor you, that's absolutely the best way of doing it. So hopefully I answered your question. And again, I will post this again if you have more specific questions that are a little bit more nuanced than that. You can always schedule a consultation. Um, okay, I wanted to know how long it takes for an asylum application to be approved. Man, oh man, that um, Danielle, is a humongous question. Huge question. It depends on so many different things. And I don't say that to be slick or clever. It's true. It depends on so many things. It depends on what your asylum claim is. It depends when you filed it. It depends how you entered the country. It depends whether you have a deportation hearing. It depends whether you have a petition that's already been filed for you for other things. So it greatly depends on what's going on in your situation, which is why I tell people schedule a consultation so I can give you a more direct question that was going to be a little bit more helpful to you. But I will say that I still have asylum claims from 7 years ago. Okay. Is it common to have them take that long? Yes. But immigration has been tweaked so many times with Biden, with Trump. There's been so many different changes. There is no certainty with it, but it does take at least minimum 2 years, if not longer. But again, it depends on what process you're going through, whether it's the court or whether it's affirmative asylum outside the court system. So it depends on a great deal. Um, Again, welcome everyone. Please enter your comments and questions in the comment section. A lot of good information can come your way if you ask. Okay, so I wanted to go to something else here mentioned before. So the topic that I said for today is green cards and RFEs. Requests for evidence is an RFE. So I want to tell people some of the crazy things being requested from immigration that has delayed processes, which has frustrated many, many, many people. Again, if you've just joined us, welcome. Drop your comments in the comment sections or your question if you have them. But right now we're talking about basically green cards, marriage green cards, and RFEs, requests for evidence. What are requests for evidence? That basically is the official correspondence from the government saying we don't like the filing you did, and we need a bunch more information in order to make a decision. So um, it can come in many forms, meaning many different things that they can ask for. The bottom line is if you haven't filed properly, they will either deny it or they'll ask you for a request for evidence. So even when I do these, they send a request for evidence. Why do they do that? Most of the time it's because they're trying to buy time. They're trying to slow down their review process and justify the fact that they're delaying things. Okay. So it happens to lots of different filings. I will tell you, however, that if you have somebody who knows what they're doing and they do a good job, it doesn't happen that often. And as a matter of fact, if you have somebody, and this is not a sales pitch, but if you have an attorney that does a stinking good job with your filing, you can get an approval in as fast as 3 months. I've had many clients in the last year get green cards after 3 months of filing. That is incredible. The first time it happened, I was blown away. The second time, I was elated. But it shows me that if something is done the right way, immigration does process it quickly. So that's why I tell people don't screw around with certain things. Do the right thing, hire an attorney. If it's not me, hire an attorney that does this because it'll greatly reduce the amount of time you have to wait to get your loved one in the United States and the frustration and the time and the money to actually get one of these approvals. Okay. So again, if you're joining us right now, welcome. This is Immigration Live with Lee. I'm Lee Marvin. So welcome to everyone. Let me look at some of the questions. Danny, hello, sir. I got an RFE for medical exam and I sent it. USCIS received it in January 17, but still didn't get a response. It's a marriage-based green card. Okay, so Danny, I think you've reached out to us in the past too. So thank you for that question. It's a bit obnoxious of the government. Okay, um, so the RFE for medical exam, that tells me that you probably did this yourself, okay? Because immigration, they've changed several different times about when they need the medical exam. The reason they're taking long for you is because they know you don't have an attorney and they know and they're frustrated that you didn't do it in the timing that you're supposed to do it. Now, under current policy, which changes regularly, the government says you need to submit your medical exam at the time of your filing. So again, the other thing that tells me is that you filed for adjustment status inside the United States. So it's not uncommon for them to kind of hose you a little bit to make you wait a little bit longer. Hopefully, it's not too long. You do have an attorney. Okay. So, okay. January 17th, it's it's March now. I don't know, man. I get this question a lot and it drives me crazy because there is no real answer. It's speculation. My speculation is usually pretty right on, but the bottom line is you can't force them, you can't push them. You can just wait. So hopefully the attorney sent it. I don't know how they sent it, but usually if you get an RFE for something like that and you send it right away, it shouldn't be taking that long. But that doesn't mean that it's not gonna take longer. Eventually, they'll get it, they'll process it, and hopefully that's the last RFE you get. I will say that historically, it's been a kind of a positive thing because if they're given that request for evidence and that's all they ask for, that means they're ready to rock and roll and schedule the interview. So Danny, that is not necessarily bad news. Um, um, T visas, Michael. Yes, I absolutely do T visas. So let me put in the link so you can contact us. So you can schedule an appointment. You can schedule time so we can talk about your T visa and what needs to happen with it. Okay. As you probably know, T visa is for trafficking, human trafficking. It's not as common as other types of visas, but very, very valid visa that will allow you to stay in the United States and get all sorts of protections. Okay, so reach out to us and we can help you figure that out. You're welcome, Danny. Um, Okay. Terry, hello again, Terry. Welcome again. Terry is one of our repeat observers, listeners, participants in this. Um, so, Terry, how you can hire me? So, my legal assistant, I know we've been in contact with you. We're trying to figure out the best way to coordinate with you because we know that there's technical issues that you have with doing different things. So we're trying to figure out the workaround. So please don't give up. I mean, we definitely want to help you with your fiance. Overseas. I don't want to say overseas where because it's none of my business to tell people where she's from. But thank you for being a fan, Terry, and a supporter, and everyone else who's on here regularly. Um, Okay, what's next? What's next? Let me go to Instagram, see what sort of comments we have. Welcome, everyone. I always like to welcome people. Drop your questions in the comment sections so I can help you figure out what you need figured out. Um, okay, so this is an interesting question. It's not really immigration related. Can a foreign person be a lawyer in the United States without a work permit? Um, That's an interesting question. The better question is, how can somebody become an attorney in the United States? Okay. If you don't have the ability to work and to pay for things, you probably won't be able to afford law school, the bar exam, or things beyond that. Um, Technically, I imagine it would be possible because it's not related to immigration. It's just you need a lot of things that do relate to immigration to logistically be able to go to school and to stay in the United States and to move forward, if you get what I'm saying. Okay. So, Brooklyn, you're welcome. My pleasure very much. Thank you for your nice comment. Okay, let me go back here. Okay. So, Terry, you're welcome, my friend. Okay. So, again, a lot of interesting things going on. Please drop your questions in the comment section. Um, okay, so Abdul, so you might have to click on the link, and you might need to reach directly to me if you got some issues back home. And I'm assuming um, if that's related to the T visa question, you probably need to schedule an appointment so we can talk about this. Okay, very complicated thing. I'm sorry to hear about this trouble that you're experiencing at home, but click on the link, schedule an appointment, and I can help you figure this out. Okay. Okay. So there was something. Okay. So the RFEs, I already kind of told you guys that there's lots of RFEs going around. Okay. Like what? Some of the ones that we've been seeing a lot of lately, the medical exam thing, that doesn't happen very often. Um, but it is possible for the government to ask for the multiple times for the same thing, including medical exams. So that's something we've seen lately. Multiple requests for the same medical exam. Um, we also see multiple requests for things like marriage certificates, which is absurd. So I've gotten these, and I'm like, okay. I'm not an amateur. So if you're telling me that I didn't provide the most basic document for an immigration filing, I'm calling BS on that. So immigration asks for things over and over again, whether they have it or not. So don't get too frustrated, but they do ask for things like marriage certificates over and over. The other thing they ask for, and this has happened lately for several different clients, provide us information to prove your bona fide relationship. Come on, guys. I sent so much stinking information for my clients every time, and you send me a request for evidence asking for that information again. The last time I got that, I sent the same thing that I sent with my original filing. And, it's very heavy handed how they ask for things. They say, if you don't provide it, we're going to deny you and don't send any of the same information. So, guess what I did? Sent the same information. You know why? Because the information I sent proved the case. What did they do? A week later, they proved the case. So, tricky stuff with immigration. And I say, again, it's not a sales pitch, but if you have an attorney that knows what they're doing and has good instinct, the attorney can get things approved where other people would be freaked out and they would probably just drop it. Okay. So just be aware of this kind of stuff. Immigration is asking for repeat things and things that aren't really relevant. An attorney can help you figure out what things are needed and which things are just games from the government. Okay. So welcome everyone. Please post your comments. I'm going to put my link here again for consultation in case somebody has things that are way beyond the scope of what we can do on this live program. Welcome to all of our fans and friends that visit us regularly. Let me go back here. So let's see, Stephen, please tell us, we're going through an I-601 waiver after our K-1 was approved, okay? She was denied her visa at the interview, for cannabis possession 14 years ago, okay? So Steve, my question, can they still order rehab after all this time? And she passed. Stephen, they're not looking to do anything like that. Rehab and anything like that. That's not how immigration works. I don't even think they have the power to do that. Even if they did, what they want to do is make you jump through their hoops and make you file the waiver. And if you provide them the right information and a good explanation of why this happened, if especially it was so long ago, that chances are very good that they're going to approve it. The thing is the waiting game. And I recently did a video about this. Okay, so check my YouTube channel. So I know already, Stephen, you're already on my YouTube channel, so you may have already seen that video. Check it out. I think we did one recently, so check that out. It gives a little bit more information about the marijuana stuff. It's always a very relevant and very important question, but I will tell you that they cannot and will not order rehab. Either they will approve your request or they will deny it. It doesn't go beyond that. They're not going to ask you to justify or convince them that she's not, a, you know, a druggie, right? So the use of drugs for small amounts is not the same thing as being quote unquote a druggie, okay? It violates immigration law, absolutely. 14 years ago, that was long enough ago that I think your chance of getting a waiver approved is pretty darn good. Again, the medical exam, because this is overseas, you're dealing with embassy. The medical exam, believe me, they're going to screen the hell out of that stuff. So if they see any hint of any sort of drug use, she's done. But if she's been clean for all that time, I really don't think you're going to have to worry a whole lot about it. Okay. So again, let me go over to Instagram. Tons of people on Instagram. Thank you for supporting and visiting. Post your questions in the comment section. We were talking about requests for evidences and the ridiculous things that the government keeps asking for over and over sometimes. Over and over for me, because multiple clients are asking for similar type things. They don't usually ask for a request for evidence more than once. Okay, so you got to know that, which is why it's so critical to respond the right way and to not mess anything up, because they will just deny you and then you're absolutely done. Let me see what other comments we have. So it actually was this week that we posted a video about marijuana use. So check out our YouTube channel for that information. Okay. So again, in the beginning of this live session, I told people that by popular demand, we're doing another free webinar for those who are interested in spouse green card requests inside the United States. Last webinar, we did fiancé visa and spouse visas, which happen in the embassy, but inside the United States, they're green card requests for a spouse. Okay. So we're going to be doing that webinar in 2 weeks on March 20th, the third Wednesday of the month at 12:30. So again, it's going to be during the lunch hour. You can either wait for this Wednesday. We're going to post stuff on the website, marvinlawoffice.com, or you can click on the link and you can get an invitation to that, or you can email us at info at marvinlawoffice.com. Let me do it. Info at marvinlawoffice.com. And that's for the purpose of requesting to be put on the list so you can get an invitation for that. Okay. I will say that green card requests for family members is an absolute game changer, life change for families. And you all know that, you get that. But the funny thing is, it costs less than a set of braces. How do I know that? Because I recently had to get braces for my daughter. So you could literally change your loved one's life and multiple family members for many years for less than the cost of braces. Okay. So kind of a big deal. Don't forget, you can reach out directly to me and schedule a consultation. If you have questions about green cards or anything, whether it's your spouse or family, whatever it is, okay? Um, if I use my ID to get inside a marijuana dispensary, um, okay, seems like there's probably more to the story in that one. So immigration doesn't know if you use your ID for anything, right? The government isn't all knowing, but you never know what they know. So that's the tough thing. Don't mess around. If you're an immigrant, don't mess around with it, man. Even visiting a dispensary is playing Russian roulette with immigration. So I don't know if they can track that stuff. I don't know if they have the manpower to even care about it. But if they ask you an uncomfortable question in an interview, they're gonna see right through you. So if you don't have to do something like that, don't do it. Don't risk it. And again, check out my videos. I talk about this sort of stuff. It's just not worth it if you can avoid things like that. Okay. Um, okay. So let's go over to YouTube now. See if there's another question. Okay, so Stephen, you're talking about okay, yeah, medicinal marijuana. Okay, um, the thing is, Stephen, she's overseas. She smoked it for relief from breaking bones, and her God, wow, it did not want or like taking prescription painkillers. Um, yeah, you're welcome, Stephen. I will say it's a bit different when you're overseas. Okay, if you're overseas and you have like 15 years ago a medicinal use of marijuana, and you can explain that to immigration, if they even ask, they might not even ask. Usually, it's questions are inside the United States. They ask those sorts of questions. It's a little bit easier to get around that sort of thing and having them throw the book at you. So it is possible for that. Okay, so because again, what happens in a different country you're subject to the laws of your own country. You're not subject to the laws of the United States in your country until you're going through the immigration process. And something you did years and years before that had nothing to do with the United States can't really be used against you. If it was recently or if it was in the United States, that's different. Okay. So if it happened overseas years ago, chances are you're not going to have any problems. Okay. Vikas, thank you for the comments. You have many questions, post them. Okay. Let me know what questions you have. We only have a few minutes left, but I do this every Monday at 8 o'clock. Okay. So I will post the handy dandy consultation link on our YouTube group and let's see, our Instagram group. So if you have questions, you can always reach me. Go to our website, www.marvinlawoffice.com. If you have questions, check out our Instagram, check out our YouTube. Tons of awesome videos. Okay. What else do we have here? So yeah, there's a lot of immigration is such a huge topic. It's why I do these free lives. Okay, because you either spend lots of money on multiple consultations, or maybe you get a couple of questions answered that allows you to move forward with a process without spending thousands of dollars. If you need to, you need to. But if you don't, if you can get a quick answer, that's great. That's why I'm here. Okay. Let's see. What are we going to do here? Let me see. I talked about the ongoing Texas immigration policy. Stand by for that. That's going to be a hot topic. I talked about requests for evidence. The immigration keeps asking for very similar things, even if you've already provided it. So make sure you respond the right way to immigration. Don't mess with it. Don't screw around. If you need to spend money on a reputable attorney, do it. It's going to be worth it because when you get your approval and your family is safe and live in the United States with you, it's going to be worth every stinking penny. Okay. So make sure that you don't pinch the pennies too much because your success is more important. Okay. Um, I do things very competitively as far as my pricing so that people can actually afford to bring their family here. So check us out, okay? You've seen my reviews. If you haven't, check out my reviews. I don't lie to people. I don't take advantage of people. I provide really good service for people. Let me go real quick here again. Vikas, you've asked a couple questions here. Our K1 visa got approved by USCIS government, but US Embassy won't allow me to get married. I waited almost 3 years. I can't wait more. I want my true love in my arms forever. Because I think we've talked to each other, right? Um, so there's things going on here that are not obvious to what I'm seeing here. I don't know who helped you with your filing. It might be worthwhile for you to reach out to me if I need to do a file review for what was filed with immigration, so I can give you an idea of what went wrong. I'm happy to do that. Okay, I usually have good instincts. I've done a lot of these things, but click on the link, schedule the appointment, because you need this information. Um, we just don't have the time to do it here. So definitely schedule that consultation, okay? So I can help you figure this out, okay? Let's see, we'll go to Instagram quickly. Lots of our friends on Instagram, thank you for always supporting us and asking questions. We got fans out there, and we love to provide this information. Um, so typically we don't do weekend consultations just because I used to do that in the past, and basically my family suffered for it. Okay. And I don't like to make my family suffer. So consultations typically are during the work week. We do work around people's schedules the best we can, but I just don't do things on the weekend, um, unless it's life and death. Okay, so reach out to us and we can help you figure these things out. We're a bit over our time, and I want to be fair to everyone, and I want to be fair, as I said, for my family. So you're welcome. You're welcome very much. So again, please reach out if you have questions. Click the links, marvinlawoffice.com. Check out our YouTube. There's tons of videos on YouTube. Watch the videos, and then if you still have questions, click the consultation link, marvinlawoffice.com. Thank you for everyone joining us. We'll be here again next week. It's getting springtime, so make sure that you go out and enjoy the nice weather. I don't know where you are, but it's nice weather somewhere. Michigan, it's just starting to get nice again. But anyway, thank you for everyone. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you again next week.